Lorenzo Hood, you're on the line with Steve Jewin of MMA Mania.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, Lorenzo, it's good to talk to you today. How's training going for your upcoming fight?
Man, training's going good. Training hard, and, training's going really good, actually.
I'm glad to hear it. Hey, I first want to compliment you on a big statistic in your fight record and something I don't see every day. According to SureDog and everywhere else I can find it, you won your last fight with a TKO slam. What was that all about? We don't see that very often.
Yeah, man, it was one of the greatest things, I guess, that it's, at the time you don't really realize it's happening, but kind of lazy in the takedown, and he shot, and he put a triangle in right away, and he had one of my arms trapped. So, somehow, some way, man, I got his body off the ground with one arm, and kind of slammed him, man, and it's been all over now. Everyone, viewed it and talked about it, and, when I see it now, I'm like, wow, I can't believe I did that. So it was fun, man. It's, something I was able to do, God bless, and I was strong enough to be able to pick him up and get him out of there.
It's unusual, not just because we very rarely see it outside of Rampage Jackson, but usually you don't see heavyweights winning by slam.
Yeah, definitely. It was, he was a super heavyweight. I fought him at super heavyweight too, man. So, that's why when I thought about picking him up with one arm, I was like, man, I just picked up 313 pounds with one arm. And, slammed him. But, I think that's, it happened, and I'm glad it did. And I'm glad, I was able to win, in an exciting fashion like that.
Well, it obviously caught Bellator's attention because they signed you and brought you in, and it's going to be a super heavyweight fight, maybe not in a super heavyweight class, but you and Rafael Butler, that's a clash of titans right there. Yeah,
definitely it is. Definitely two big guys going at it, man, definitely.
So what are your thoughts on Butler's overall game and your approach to him coming into the fight?
I think he's a great, like I said, I've said this the whole time, he's really good boxing. He's very technical and crisp hands. Obviously, with having 30-plus boxing fights, you think that he would. He's a tough guy. I think he's a tough guy. I think coming into this fight, I think that he obviously is assumed to have the more technical striking advantage on when it comes to boxing. And, I don't really agree with that myself, but, hey, I'm not the one. My job is to fight, not worry about what the statistics are, or what, I'm the underdog, or, if I'm the favorite.
At least you don't have to worry about him having the equal amount of respect for you, because I talked to him yesterday and he said he knows you're a killer coming in because you finished every one of your wins, so he's expecting you to be very, very tough.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I think it's, I definitely, the one thing I said, and I said this all the time, definitely not a guy that you can, that you, guy. He doesn't really have many cracks that you see in a game, so it's going to be one of those things where the fans are going to get their money's worth. You're going to get a stand-in bang matchup. You're going to get two guys that are going to go out there and look for to end that fight, or if it goes later, I don't see it going past the first round. That's for sure. So I think the fans will definitely get their money's worth.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's probably going to be a fast fight, but even if it's not, it's going to be a fun fight. And the thing that I think really changes up the dynamic of this fight is that in his last performance, we saw him win with a guillotine choke. So now he's adding the submission game to his arsenal, so that's something you got to watch out for, too.
Yeah, I mean, as a mixed martial artist, you're always evolving. I saw that guillotine, in a highlight somewhere. I never watched film of my opponents, but I think I saw that on Bellator's Instagram. And I kind of laughed. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I think he was fighting a really short guy too as well, and kind of lifted him off the ground, so that was impressive. And I mean, this fight is going to be good. This fight is going to be really good. I'm really excited about it. I think, if I was a fan of MMA, I would be really excited about watching this fight. You have two guys that are going to go in there, and, for me, those who watch me fight, they know I'm real athletic. I try to move like I'm a 155er in there, and, try to open up areas and angles that normally you don't really see heavyweights trying to get to.
I know he trains with Alliance, but you just talked about how you train and how you move, you dance like a lightweight. So how do you develop that? Who are you working with?
I train, right now and I will train forever, at Top Notch with Ricardo Ramos.
Ah, okay.
With head coach Macro Ramos and, Paul Reinhardt is one of my other coaches as well. But, a lot of I have trained with a lot of lightweights. Guys like Ricardo Lamas, Michael Santiago, Brian Booth, and these guys are smaller guys, And, you know, I've done a lot of training with these guys, and I try to emulate, you know, being able to go with these guys, man. And they're like fly. They're like gnats, man. They're all over the place, flying, hitting you all over the place. And so, with all of that, I've come to emulate a lot of their movements and a lot of their constant movement and angles and things like that. And it's funny when I go with heavyweights, I don't even, you know, I'm always faster and lighter and quicker because I'm going with these guys, the lightweights, you know, for so long, and I've been doing it for so long with them.
It's impressive if you can move that quickly and that agile at 6'3", 265. So are you actually going to be coming in a little less than that for this fight? Can we expect like a trimmer, slimmer dream killer?
No, man. You know, this fight was kind of given, you know, with 4 or 5 weeks notice, I think, and obviously, you know, you always want, you know, to prepare, but hey, things happen, you know, you get a fight, you're going to say yes, you want to fight, you want to put on a show for everyone. You want Bellator to, you know, be excited that they signed you. So I definitely, won't be coming in probably a leaner, trimmer, slimmer. I'll probably be coming in right around 266, 265, for this fight.
All right. Well, since I already brought up the nickname when I asked you that question, how did you get the name the Dream Killer?
You know, the Dream Killer was something that was kind of just thrown out there. It was me and my coach. We were sitting around at a kickboxing tournament, and this guy had walked up to us and was saying how he was so excited that he was going to fight me and be able to burst my bubble and all the hype that I had coming behind me. And this was a kickboxing tournament, and he's like, man, I got such big dreams. He's like, and all my dreams start with beating you. And as soon as he walked away, it was funny. And my coach was like, well, we're about to kill those dreams. And you know, then he was like, you know what? This fight, he's like, I think we're going to start calling you the Dream Killer, man. He's like, because people are always underestimating you and doubting you. And he goes, you know what? So we're going to stick with the Dream Killer. And that was that. You know, here it goes.
Well, yeah, it kind of fits, you know. I almost want to say that maybe that's a good nickname for Ricardo Lamas as well. I know the Bully fits him pretty well, but he's killed a lot of people's dreams too.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. That's for sure.
How's he getting ready for that fight with Diego Sanchez? How's he looking right now?
Oh, he looks great, man. Rick always looks good, man. One thing about Rick, man, he stays in great shape all the time. He's one of the, I'll be honest with you, man, I've gone against lots and lots of heavyweights all over, and you know, some of the best in the world, and Rick is probably one of the toughest dudes that I've ever go with on a daily basis. He's just a tough dude, man. I think he's just, you know, he's just born that way. It's part of, you know, just who he is. You know, which, like, I hang out with him and we do things together, and everything that we do from, you know, from our strength and conditioning to, you know, the smallest of things. He's always done, you know, hard and tough and fast, but we always, you know, he has a great time. And he's taught me a lot of just being able to stay calm and have fun and smile and have fun with what you're doing and enjoy the fact that we're able to do something that we love to do, you know, and get to wake up and do it every day.
Personally, I can say that he showed me one of the most violent and spectacular endings to a fight I ever saw live, because I was there when he landed that elbow and pretty much destroyed Eric Koch's face. So
yeah, that was disastrous.
I thought for sure he was getting a title shot off that one shot alone. That's how big it was.
Yeah, that elbow was heard around the world, that's for sure.
Yeah. You ever try to throw an elbow like that in a fight?
You don't know, I haven't. I haven't had a chance yet. But you know, I'm at some point I'm hoping to be able to use that. You know, in the heavyweight division, it's you know, landing an elbow the way he landed that elbow. You know, it's just a different caliber of a weight class, a different caliber of fighting, I think. But you know, hey, you know, never say never.
Yeah, at heavyweight too, if you land something like that, you're talking about reconstructive facial surgery that might put a guy out for a year.
Yeah, you're talking about putting a guy out for a long, long time.
So, yeah, out of all your fights so far, what's been your favorite one? I mean, obviously this Bellator debut fight is going to be big, but before now, which one is your favorite?
I think my fight against, I want to say probably David Morse, I think is one of my favorite fights, or Jacob Zog. Both of those guys kind of, you know, I never really take anything personal. I'm a really relaxed guy. I respect everybody. I think, you know, anyone who gets in the cage, is definitely, you know, is a winner already. But, you know, those two guys kind of, you know, just kind of said a lot of things that, you know, I didn't really agree with and took things a little bit too far. And, you know, so I think knocking those two dudes out was probably the most gratifying for me.
Well, and it looks like you won the Dave Morris fight in pretty spectacular fashion. You knocked him out with a knee, and the name of that fight card intrigues me. War in the Yard. I'm not even sure what exactly that implies.
Yeah, man. You know, I fought on some cards, man, that'll make you question being a professional MMA fighter, that's for sure. I fought in some Battle in the Barn, some War in the Yards. I fought in some funny places, man, where you're like, wow, this can't be what it's like. You know, so to be obviously fighting on the grand stage that I'm at right now and be able to be at the point in the career I'm at, now is a beauty, man. You know, it's a beautiful thing. And just for those other guys that are coming up in the rankings and coming up and just starting their MMA careers, like, you know, no matter where you start, you know, obviously the end goal is to be, you know, in Bellators, the UFCs, the WSOFs, you know, things like that. And so the dream come true for me.
Well, yeah, it's not a dream killed, it's a dream fulfilled.
There you go.
All right. Well, I know it's got to be extremely gratifying to be featured on a Bellator main card on Spike TV, but at the same time, is it any additional pressure for you being on this big of a spotlight?
No. You know, no pressure, man. I really don't even think about the fight outside of the gym and outside of being at the arena, you know, for the event. The one thing I don't even think about the fight at all. It's one thing I've always done. You know, I just kind of take it for what it is. You know, I enjoy every moment of every day that I'm alive and that I get to wake up and do something. And fighting, you know, it's my job. So when it's time to clock in, I clock in. When it's not time, you know, I'm doing other things.
All right. Well, just out of curiosity, then, when you're not training, when you're not getting ready for a fight, and when you're not in a fight, what do you do to relax? What's the day off for Lorenzo Hood? Lorenzo, are you still there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I do that. I play the guitar. Let's see. Yeah, I like to, obviously, you know, I like to keep my body in shape, so obviously hitting the gym is kind of a relaxing way for me. And outside of that, man, I just kind of like to relax and just watch TV, man. I'm a big scary movie buff, so I like to watch tons of scary movies and, just kind of relax and enjoy life just like that way.
No, I gotta say, I find it kind of ironic to relax by watching horror movies, because they kind of have the opposite effect on most people. Yeah,
I mean, you know, hey, you know, obviously, you know, whatever calms you down, whether that be, you know, some people, like, I know some people listen to rock before their fights, and I know some guys listen to slow jams and R&B before they fight. I mean, everyone's kind of different in regards to what relaxes them.
Well, yeah, and some fighters come out to country music, too, which really isn't my thing, but if it works for people, hey, more power to them. Yeah,
exactly. If it works for you, hey, more power to you. You know, at the end of the day, no matter what you listen to, no matter what you come out to, no matter what you watch, when you get into that cage, you know, none of that stuff really matters.
Right. The door shuts. It's just you, him, and the referee, and that's all it comes down to.
Yeah, that's all it comes down to, man.
We're looking forward to seeing what it comes down to on August 28th in Temecula, California. But before I let you go, Lorenzo, I want to know if you have any plugs, sponsorships, social media that you'd like to get out and mention.
Yeah, definitely, man. All my fans can check me out at Twitter, Hood_Zoe, Facebook, The Dream Killer. My sponsors, man, that would be Future Legend, Head Rush, Grunt Style, Elite Fitness, Deadly Breed. I'm forgetting a couple of people. Strike MMA, Top Notch. Where else? Man, I'm forgetting some people, and if I forget them, I'm sorry. But you know, everyone who's been by my side, basically, everyone who supported me, and is with me now and has been and has understood the journey. I appreciate everybody. You know, I appreciate you guys for taking time out to want to even talk to me. You know, I'm very humble and gracious when it comes to these things.
Well, it's our pleasure to talk to you, and it's going to be a great fight on August 28th. It's the Dream Killer versus the Silencer, and I'm looking forward to the fight. Thank you again.
Me too. Thank you.